Okay, cool. Well. Yes, anyways, welcome back to Raw. But yeah, we started creating this man on Tuesday. I don't know what his name is. What's his name? Because it cannot be George Wood anymore. He looks nothing like it. He looks nothing like a George Wood. I've had names like Egg Hachi come up. Can I just, like, not give him a short name? Call him Malcolm Fitzcarraldo. Why? Why should I call him that? Love that fusion name. Egghead. Egg. Just a Venture Bros joke. Oh, okay. We'll call him Fish Leg as a nickname. No, we'll call him Fish Stick. Fish Stick. There you go. Cool. This is Egg Hachi. This is Egg Hachi. Short name, Egg. Nickname, Fish Stick. Because look at these legs and tell me that this is not... that these are not the legs of a champion right here. Fish sticks are good. I've not had fish sticks since I was like 8. But you know what? I'll take your word for it. Fish sticks are like the ultimate, like, 8 to 11-year-old food, I will say. I don't mean that as a disparaging thing, I mean that as a true thing, you know? Like, when you're, like, a kid, you're like, oh yeah, fish sticks. How many people are like that when they're older? You know? What 26-year-old looks at fish sticks and is like, oh hell yeah. Because most people my age, they look at dino nuggets, and they're like, oh hell yeah. You know? They're like, frozen fish? Get that shit out of my... Frozen fish? Like, they're like, frozen fish, huh? More like, frozen bitch. I need those dino nuggets, dude. I don't know, man. I feel like if you're in your 20s and you're autistic, the dino nuggets are the best nuggets. They honestly are, too, because the dino nuggets often have the perfect, like, bread to meat ratio, I feel like. They have a really good meat to breading ratio. Because a lot of like frozen nuggets, they have a lot of breading on them. I feel like, you know? A lot of them have too much breading on them. But when you actually like... Hold on. Entrance walk. Not seen at it. What the... Perfect music because you're making a me. Should I, like, keep this the entire time we're doing this? Perfect music because you are making a me. I mean, dude, I don't know who looks like this. But I'm glad that whoever looks like this is getting represented. You know? The fish lips and everything. No way. Dude, he's hopping on the legs. He's got like the Brock Lesnar walkout. What is this? Can we tell which person's entrance this is just from like just from like looking at it? You can get really in depth with this. Wow. We got like 8 different camera settings here, rather like 10 different camera counts here. Bash him. Dude, there's no way. Wow. WGTT. It's Christian. Flair, Eddie. Trish. HBK. Booker T. I don't want anything that's like too flashing. Benoit. Jericho. First, maybe we should like figure out like how he's coming out here. How does Lance Storm come out here? No way! Wait, was this when he had like the dancing gimmick? That's crazy. What about Shelton Benjamin? I love, you know what? I actually like love the little dancing gimmick here. What the hell is Lance Storm's other animations? What is Lance Storm's other animations here? Does he also, like, dance on here? Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. Wow. I'm not even gonna lie to you, I'm a big fan of that. His tiny fingers. Wait, did I just get a notification saying that your tits don't work? Yeah, unfortunately. I'm going through a hard time right now, okay? Like, what's the goddamn animation that I want to have doing here? Because I want something that has a run-up, you know? Because it just makes no sense that he, like, comes out. And then he just starts, like, running towards the goddamn ramp. Which one is this? Is this... Okay, that right there is Lesnar. Let's see. What is that supposed to be? And then can he pick up, like, speed? Can he do that? I need him to, like, pick up speed, dude. Otherwise, we're not doing anything. You know? I will never get over his tiny hands along with the little, like... Along with the little glove collars. It is never not going to be funny to me. He just starts, like, walking normally, and then he just, like, starts running. He starts out by, like, walking normally, and then runs as he gets further down the apron. I think that'd be pretty beast, honestly. Okay, what was number 3? Because I remember kind of enjoying number 3 if I can get the camera to, like, move away from him. Oh, yeah, baby. Those are the lips of a champion. Okay, so we start from right there. I don't want too many camera cuts. I want one that's, like, almost horrific, you know? I cannot get any camera shots that are to the right, it looks like. Unless it's, like, there. Alright, I think that, at least for, like, the moment-to-moment stuff, this might be good. Let's see. Aw, he's glorious. Ah, here he comes. No, I chose goddamn... No. Hold on.
Hello, Mario.
Hi, Idea Maker. Welcome on into tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. Is that a propeller on his butt? That is a crown, and don't you forget it. That, my friend, is a crown, but it's funny to think that he's, like, propelling his... that he's propelling himself to the ring. That's honestly an incredible headcanon. Honestly, that's incredible. Wow. He's the bone cracker. I'm headcanoning his scene to be Ocean Man. I'm the... Hold on. Honestly, that might be great. As it is. Wow. Let me see here. Because I want to see what these camera angles look like. Because I feel like having a camera that's like in the entranceway is incredible work. If I could mod this game to have Ocean Man in there, I would make that his theme. The instrumentation on this theme is crazy. Oh, Lord, he's going. Fish stick Heihachi. On the... Honestly, I love this. This shit is awesome. That thing over his head makes him look like a rainbow monkey. You know what? It kind of does. It's just the stem that's holding it in place is very, 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 very small. It's like small down to the molecular level. I love the idea that he's like goddamn being propelled forward by the crown. Like it's of incredible discomfort to him, but he can't really do much about it, you know? There you go. Fish stick Heihachi. Or maybe I should, like, make his nickname the Fishbone Cracker.
Father, the Apache ghosts are back. There's a TP in my trunks. My pants are haunted.
You don't wear pants. What are you talking about? Did you eat those special Cheetos again? How many times do I need to tell you that you can't have those after midnight? I kind of want to add some, like, lights to him. You know? I don't want to give him, like, too many, like, overbearing lights. But I would like to give him something. Badass. Wait, is this like American badass? Mic is being fuzzy again when you up your voice a bit. Voice mod is being a piece of shit and I don't like that, so we're just gonna go to the standard Yeti. Alright, do I sound okay now? I'm not gonna fuck with it now. Mysterio. It's gotta be like an ocean color, you know? His lights need to be an ocean color. Tag blue. Oh goodness. That is not blue. That is, in fact, I think you'll find a shade of red. I don't really want anything that's, like, overly flashy. I like the edge, Pyro. Or, like, I enjoy, like, the edge lights. Here. Here, how about... Here, let's try this shit. It's like he's really underneath the ocean. Oh, Lordy coming. Hold on. Can you, like, have him coming at you from the ring? Because if I could just have him, like, coming at us from the ring, then I'd be so happy about that. He needs to be, like, running at you like he just threw up. Hold on, let me see, like, the effects here again. Or, like, the lighting again. Let me find Edge's lighting again. Yeah, that's the fucking good stuff, dude. And then when he gets to the ring, we need something there, you know? We need, like, a spotlight or something. This is like him, like, getting up to the goddamn, like, surface of the ocean. Like, I want it to continue to be dark, you know? I think it being dark lends itself a lot to the deep CA aesthetic, you know? Do they, like, flicker, like, on and off? Yes, they do. I need this to work, dude. I need this to work more than most things, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Okay. Okay. I think that's good. I think this is great. Let's try it. Dude, that's awesome. Wow. I'm a big fan of this, honestly. He's like shrouded in darkness. Please tell me I could put Pyro in this. I would be so fucking ecstatic. Dead Man Smoke. Wow! Wow! Dude, this fish is fried. Let's fucking see this. Fish man, let's do it. Hey, y'all want fried fish? Please. Go off with him on the top rope. I would love that. Yes! Yes! Dude, that's perfect! That's awesome! That's awesome! Wow! I could honestly not ask for anything better. Jet. Fire Arch. Oh god. That's awesome. It's so loud. Oh hey, it's the Dudleys. There's gotta be like Goldberg pyro, right? Oh yeah, baby. That's the fucking shit. I want that so bad. Alright, we're gonna fucking try this.
Gira, get the tabloos.
Yeah! He's like running away from it. Whoa, what the hell's going on? I just love how he explodes. He just like gets completely flamed at the end, dude. Mysterio stage. RVD. Oh, it like does the thing at the top. The devil's favorite fish, man. We gotta blow like all the pyro budget on this guy. I want this man to have so much pyro. It would be so funny. Missile. Oh my god! Wow! That's awesome. There's way too it's way too much. It's way too fucking much. God! Jesus! It's so loud! There he is. The fisherman. Hey, Kachi. He's like running to the ring so that the pyro doesn't get him. Okay, great, I'm safe. Phew. Now do I pose it? Ah! Fuck! I'm now extra crispy. My mom said I would always be extra crispy. Honestly, I think this is complete. I think that we have done all that we should do with this. Besides maybe letterboxing it. I can give it a 20-second intro. Wait, hold on. Do I want to, like, give it, like, a goddamn, like, entrance video? I kind of want to give it like an entrance video. Give it Jericho's. Rob Van Dam is a good fucking shout. Booker. Rey Mysterio. Kane. Kane's video has some good, like, freaky fisherman vibes, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. I think Kane is our best. It's gotta be Kane, dude. It's gotta be Kane! Were their entrance videos always this short? In my head, they were longer as a kid. When I was a kid, they were, like, always longer than this.
Hello, Mario.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, Piecemeal Ravioli. Welcome on into tonight's Long Boy Club meeting, and thank you for the follow the other day. I really appreciate that. We're over here making an absolute menace to society in Fishstick Akachi. And right now I'm trying to figure out a goddamn entrance video for him. This does not look right. This feels like... I could have sworn that this is when, like, Randy Orton broke away from, like, Evolution. Now, I'm looking at these, I'm thinking Kane has to be the one, dude. Oh, it's gotta be Kane. So here's the thing. I'm thinking that if it just starts loud, it's just gonna get really infuriating. You know? He, like, misses his cue. Like, I don't think it needs to start loud, right? Dude, the fire arch is crazy. I love that, honestly. Alright. I think we have a goddamn entrance right here. It's gotta be Kane King. No, it's a Fishman. It's a Fishman King. Like, he saw the fire, he sees these sparklers, he knows what's coming, and he gets the fuck out of there real fast. The sinister Vince McMahon rigged the ring with fire, and now he's well done, you know? And now he's been cooked to perfection. He is certifiably cooked now. So wait, what if I give him, like, the goddamn, like, Goldberg pyro towards the end of the thing? Jesus Christ. Okay. Jet. I'm, like, trying to find the Goldberg sprinklers again. Jeez. It is incredibly... Wow! Fireworks! Whole ass fireworks. Wait, what is this?
It's almost time for a 2.5-minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
No, it is not. And that time, I knew it was real. That time, I fucking knew it was real. What if I do, like, the Dudley thing here? Will it, like, arrive immediately, like, as he comes in? Or is it going to, like... wait for him? Hey, Kachi, watch out for the missile! Watch out! Ah! Oh no! He's been properly seasoned, and then look at this! Ah! He is thoroughly cooked, brother. Looks like a mocking Heihachi. Everyone either says Heihachi or Eggman. We've named him Egghachi. So that way everyone is happy. Piecemeal Ravioli, can I ask you, what is your experience with wrestling? Do you like it? I'd imagine that the majority of people that show up here do enjoy wrestling, but I wanted to just know where you stand, you know? I stand with me channel music during character creation. We got the fishbone cracker right here. Can I fit all of it? Fishbone. Cracker. There you go. You know what? No. I think if he's gonna be the fishbone cracker, then we need to, like, have the theme song say that he's the bone cracker. You know? How else will his nickname make sense if we don't know that he's the bone cracker? You know? Effects, animation. He needs to, like, get up on the top rope at some point, I feel like. You know? If he doesn't get up on the rope, then there's really no point, you know? I think that's good, honestly. Either that or we give him, like, the Edge thing. But I don't know if Edge gets on the rope. Oh, yes, he gets on the top rope! Yes! Holy shit! And he gets, like, a fistful of pyro. He's gonna get, like, a face full of pyro after this is over. Effects of this scene. Do you still want to continue? Listen, no. We need, like, goddamn, we need the pyro, dude. We need fire. We need the... Hold on, we need Kane. Yeah, it's Kane! Wow! Alright, now everyone's gonna know that he's the bone cracker. He just steals Kane's entire shit here. Fishbone cracker. Hey, Hachi. Dude. He just
it's
gets
almost
all
time
that
for
shit.
a 2.5 minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
He eats an unbelievable amount of shit. Yeah! But the camera angle doesn't really do it justice, I feel like. Okay, now we know that he's the bone cracker. There's no denying that. Can we view him from the turnbuckle? It looks like we can. All right. Let's check this out. One more go around. It comes so fast. It's so loud. He like drops on the deck and flops like a fish. And he's cooking! He's getting cooked alive! Okay, that needs to like happen a little sooner. Let's try this. Let's try that. And then I think we're good. No pop for our boy, chat. That's insane. Fishbone cracker. Hey, Hachi. Hey, Hachi. Alright, we're good. Yeah, baby, he's cooked. Incredible. I think that's perfect, honestly. The only thing that I would change is this, right? Let's see. We gotta continue this. Bam, bam, bam. All right. How does the beginning look? The fishbone cracker. Hey, Hachi. And then he fucking dies at the entrance. Wait, hold on, hold on. I think that the idea of it being fireworks, I don't like that very much, honestly. What I enjoy more is fire. More fire. Not only that, but fire along the entrance, the fire along the ramp too. You know? Like, fire needs to be following him everywhere, I feel like. Plus, I don't think it's as, like, auditorily overstimulating. So I feel like it's gonna be funnier for longer. There's just so much fire. This man is literally
It's almost time for a
He is the
2.5 minute
definition
Cheetos break,
of
my
out of the
dudes.
frying pan and into the fire is this man. The fishbone cracker. Ah! And he's like trying to put himself out. Honestly, it's great. That is almost perfect, I feel like. At this point, the only thing I would change is this, right? I would change the camera that is showing at this part. I would change it to that. Alright, let's see how that looks now. I think we're almost done. We are almost done. He's surrounded by fire. He walks through fire. He's on fire right now. He is on fire. And he thinks he's safe now that he's in the ring. He put himself out. That's great. But, no! Into the fire once more. Fuck! Oh, fuck! And he's, like, trying to, like, put himself out on the ropes. Honestly, I enjoyed that. That's an incredible entrance. They spent, dude, they siphoned all of Kane's budget and put it into this man. They siphoned every ounce of Kane's budget and put it into this guy. I am a ginormous fan of this. Alright, and with that, I'm not as married to, you know, the idea of him having a thoroughly customized moveset. Really what I want from him is just a template and, you know, unique finishers. I'm fine with that. I look at this guy. I think he's got a lot of strength. His speed is dog shit. I think that's pretty reasonable, honestly. But he's got pretty good strength. Durability, that's also bad. Counter. Charisma. Oh, goodness me. You really don't have a lot of points to use on him, it feels like. No, actually, you know what? I feel that with that workout that he got on the way down, that's pretty fucking good. Submission. Dude, he's honestly not that great, it looks like. He's probably, like, towards the bottom. Rule breaker, high flyer. I feel like brawler is kind of what we want to go with. Although, seeing him fly would also be really funny, I feel like. So I'm willing to go that way. I'm willing to go that way with him. With legs like that, I don't know if he's heavy or not, chat. Shit, I just forgot we need to run an ad. Hold on.
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes?
Our next pick is Tomb Raider 3, starring the buxom Lara Croft. This is what every woman should do who feels she must live up to the image perpetuated by the likes of Lara. The best feature of Tomb Raider 3 is not Lara herself. It's the outstanding level design of Heather Gibson.
And then if you look along this side of the editor, I've got a selection of textures that I can use on this map. We can then go on to apply the textures to these areas. So it's just a matter of popping textures onto the faces that are displayed within the room editor. We can apply a light to the room, change the ambience of that room, change the range and the strength of the light to get that nice moody atmosphere that we've got on most of the levels. And I can actually have a look at this room now if I go into preview and fly around and see how it looks. And also we can trigger all the baddies within this system. So that means that when we place our dogs or cult members within this particular map, I can say that I wanted that dog to attack Lara at a specific point. So I can select the dog and trigger it so that when Lara crosses this trigger point here, the dog becomes activated. It allows the player to run across the trigger and run back into a different area of the map and have the sense that something different's happening because the baddies are still coming through, but they might come through it from a different area. So it always gives you the feeling that they're actually quite clever, that they're working out how to get to you.
By the way, did you ever wonder what Lara looked like without her clothes on? That's it. Gotcha. The old wire mesh trick.
Oh, George, you've done it again, my friend. The fucking old wire mesh trick. Oh no. How will I ever recover? Alright, hold on. We have a couple more seconds left in the break. Meanwhile, I'm gonna try and figure out what is this man's weight. Colin, come over here. What is this man's weight class?
Oh man, this guy right here.
Yeah.
Nom nom nom. Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
You think so?
Yeah, he's just a frail little guy.
I mean, with legs like these,
Yeah,
you
see,
know?
he's frail. He's frail.
He's like all thigh and all fly, you know?
Correct. Correct.
He's like all fly and big, or like big fly right there. All thighs.
Truthfully, I just
no
wanna see him,
calves.
like spinning through the air, doing extravagant acrobatics. So,
I would love that too. We named him the Fishbone Cracker, Kachi?
hell yeah.
Because his theme is the Bone Cracker. Like that's the name of his theme music. So we call him the Fishbone Cracker.
He's perfect.
I know, he's great. I love him so much.
God bless him. God bless him.
Thank you for your contribution.
Oh, always happy.
I appreciate it. Okay. Let's see here. We'll just short name is Egg. Moveset. Fighting style. Again, I'm okay with. I'm really fine with like. Wait. In-ring style. Oh, okay. Yeah, like, I'm mostly, like, fine with this. Is there, like, a template that we can do? Or no? Template! Okay, cool. We need a high flyer. There we go. Yeah! Dude, the moonsault? That's awesome. Okay, specials. Michinoku driver. I need a flying attack. Here. Attack from turnbuckle. Do we want, like... Hold on. Let me see here. Springboard attack. Springboard dropkick. Springboard body attack. I like that. Wait, degree of strength. Grapple, front grapple. Michinoku driver. Bloodshed. Great. So like what? It's like where are the other like turnbuckle attacks we could do here? Because I love like the springboard crossbody, but I feel like we can do a little bit better than goddamn. Wait, money shot. Oh yeah, that's goddamn. Dude, that's awesome. Wait, diving double stop. Oh, the coup de grace? Wow. Matitude guillotine leg drop. Diving knee attack. Flip attack. I kind of want them to already be, like, prone on the floor. Dude, a shooting star press would be killer, honestly. Ah, like a partial BME? That would also be sick as fuck. Wait.
It's Thursday, you know what that means? Well, it means we are one day away from Friday.
And that's all it means. In this neck of the woods. You do like a partial BME? That's pretty sick. Let's see here. The Irish whip grapple. Attack from turnbuckle. Why is this one stronger than the other two? Because frankly, I kind of want to do the, I kind of want to do the partial BME, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Because that looks sick as fuck. Momentum shift, a low blow. Wait, the Nature Boy special? Oh yeah, that's probably just a low blow. The super eye poke! Dude, that's awesome. The 5-knuckle shuffle is just like the goddamn power of the punch in this. Fork strike? Oh! Hellbite? Rock bottom? The stunner? Oh, so these are just like... So here's just like any goddamn things that we could do here. Do the unprettier. Full Nelson face drop. Tilt slam. You know what? I kind of like the fork strike. Given how he's already fried as fuck. It makes sense, I feel like. Now, what about his taunts? Spoiled child? That's the Christian, taunt. Scream? Oh, okay. Abusing? I don't like that. The finger. Angry angle. I like anything that... Fish? Huh? Okay, cool. After win. Why are some of these in a different aspect ratio? Shelton Benjamin. Which of these are just like generic? Or that right there is Lesnar. Oh my god, that's the freaking, that's the Too Cool thing. I like that. That's Shane McMahon. What the fuck is that? That feels familiar. What is that? Eugene? I don't know. That's future Cena. That's probably not what it is. Hollywood Hogan. The Hurricane. We love ourselves some Hurricane. Hogan. What the? Okay. I kind of like that one, honestly. That one's crazy. Karate kick with legs. Karate kick with legs, yes, that is what's required. And give the bird. Jeff Hardy. At least it looks like Jeff Hardy. Let's see here. Dude, that's just Cena taunts. I'm looking at that. That is Cena. That is John Cena right there. What is that? Oh, that's Taz. It's Taz. Again, dude, it looks like Jericho. What can I say? On the turnbuckle. Is that the Hurricane again? You know what? I enjoy the idea of it being the Hurricane. G-Bomb! With the Lawn Boys, Girls, NBs, and AGs. Hello there, my friend. Welcome on in to tonight's Lawn Boy Club meeting. I appreciate you bringing your lovely community on over here. Hopefully you had a good time, my friend.
Hello,
Doing whatever
Mario.
it is you were doing. What the heck were you doing over on your stream, and did you have fun doing it? I'm doing good, man. How are you doing tonight? We're over here making a goddamn, wrestler here. The most cursed one that we've made so far, and honestly, given what we've done here on this channel, that's saying quite a bit. That's saying a hell of a lot, honestly. Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, I'm fine with whatever else this is. But yeah, I'm doing good. Hopefully you're doing well, too. I haven't really seen you around all that much. Hopefully things are alright. Okay. Well, I think he's done, chat. Now, what do you say we take him for a test drive before we actually, you know, start the story? I think we gotta take him for a test run. Same here, haven't seen you in a bit. Well, I did leave Twitter, so... Are you on Blue Sky? If you aren't... You should be. You should be. It's much better and easier to curate your experience on than something like Twitter. Yeah, I'm in there. Well, we should follow each other. We should follow each other. Here, you can find it right here. Go to my card, you'll find it right there. Let's go to SmackDown. I got flashbanged by my own creation. I'm not even gonna lie. Alright, and we gotta, like, put him up against somebody that he has a fighting chance against. Someone like... a... Doug Basham. Or Danny Basham, one of the two. You know what? No. I think we have a fighting chance against Mark Jindrak. Chat. Against not Randy Orton. Against who would have been an evolution if they didn't choose Randy Orton. Here he comes. Yeah, baby. It's the fishbone. Wow, that is crazy font. It's the fishbone cracker. Eggachi. I forgot. Can we, like, choose our signs in this or no? God, I love him so much. I'm already attached to this guy, chat. And here he comes. That is the fishbone cracker. For your information, G-Bomb. And he's facing... I don't even know what his is. I don't even know what his thing is. The Mark of Excellence, Mark Jindrak. I'm not well versed in the lore of Mark Jindrak. I'm sorry. I don't know much about Mark Jindrak lore, unfortunately. But this right here is his opponent. This is who we're doing a test drive against. Let's see if I can actually make something happen here. Alright. Holy fucking shit. Ow! Damn it. Ah, this is going to be really fucking tough. I can tell already. Even though Mark Jindrak is one of the worst guys in the game, I could just tell, like, from the fucking ah! I can tell from the goddamn jump that this is going to be a tough task ahead of us.
4.
Wait. Yeah! Whoa, hello. Okay, cool. I can do springboards.
8. 9.
Okay, I was about to say, if I got a count out over goddamn Mark Jindrak within two minutes of the match, I would have shat bricks. He's so... Dude, I am in awe at the size of this lad. He is an absolute goddamn unit. We're going into the stretch here. He can barely hold that shit in. Alright, can I do a springboard? He is all legs. Wow. This man is all legs. Well, actually, no. He has barely any legs. He has, like, all thighs. Ah! I enjoy that you actually had like a bit of a more like interactive like mini game to lifting a guy up if he's too heavy. Dude, this guy can't lift up Mark Jindrak. What are we doing? He's so weak. This man is like a tripod fish. His muscles have just completely atrophied. I love it. Okay, good. I can at least do an arm drag. I could do an arm. Whoa! And holy shit, the referee's doing the international. All right, can I do a springboard on him? Yes! Ow! I can kind of do a springboard on him. Yes! Ow! It's a really good thing that Mark Jindrak is lower on the total pool, otherwise this would be much harder. Like if this were Triple H, I'd be cooked. And of course Mark can lift me up, no issue. Ah, hey, good lucha moves. Over here doing some good lucha things on a Friday night. I literally cannot make contact. Alright, well, can I make contact with the referee? Can I, like, do a ref spot with him? Ow! Damn! I will say that the GameCube controller does lend itself better to mashing than than the PS2 controller. That big A button was made for shit like this. Ow! Egg, please. Damn it. Oh no! Dude, momentum has completely left my side. No, Mark Jindrak's gonna win this shit. No! Not whatever that is.
1, 2, 3.
Ah, damn it. Okay. You know what? No. I'm not gonna lose to Mark Jindrak. I'm not gonna lose to Mark Jindrak in our first match with this character. Ow! Dude, everything is so meaty in this game. I love it. I also have submissions here, too. Apparently, since I'm a high flyer, I'm also a submission guy. Oh! He got that shit scouted big style.
Break!
I did not realize that. Goddamn, oh! Ow! Okay, so R is for... So R is for reversing grapples. No, it's for reversing strikes. L is for reversing grapples. Got it. Nice. Ow. It is a sad state of affairs when I cannot defeat Mark Jindrak, dude. Ah, lift him, no! He's nowhere near beaten up yet. Ow! Dude, I can't do shit to him. Ow! There's absolutely nothing I can do to this man besides a drop toe hold. And maybe I... Ow! Dude, Mark Jindrak is... Dude, Mark Jindrak is coded, I think. I do not have the strength for this, dude. I'm not playing to my strengths at all. Come on. Nice. Okay, I need to... Okay, I probably need to go up top. Motherfucking fish lips here needs to go up top. Ow! Hold on. It's really hard to predict it, dude. I'm not even gonna lie to you, it's hard to predict this shit right now. Mostly because...
1.
I'm
2.
easily the worst in this game at this point in time.
4.
Ah, yeah, baby! On the back! Ooh, coffin drop, what? Hold on, was that a coffin drop? Coffin drop. Okay, no, that was simply an elbow drop. Got it. Nice. He's got the big fucking feet, dude. Tap out, Mark Jindrak. Oh! Stop working my leg. You don't even have a leg move. You have no leg finishers. No!
2.
No! Oh, he's not done yet. Can I, like, roll out the ring, please? I do not want to lose to Mark Jindrak's side slam again. No! Okay, fine. Well, you know what? I guess... Listen. I understand. I understand at this point we're pretty dog-ass. But, maybe, as we go through the story mode, we won't be as dog-ass. We will not be as dog-ass if we just put our minds to it a little bit more. If we just lock in just a little bit more. Please select a superstar slot to begin. All right, it is time for us to begin a new, perhaps not canon chapter in the Giraverse. It is time for Eikachi to make his grand debut in WWE. Create superstar is loading. I say non-canon because look at this man. So, like, I'm gonna change his weight a little bit. I know that I asked my roommate for his opinion, but I would like to... Listen, I want to just make him a little bit more capable off the bat. So, I'm gonna make him light rather than very light. Because I look at this man, I gotta give him a little more credit than that, you know? Like, he has worked on this top, okay? He worked on this top, he's worked this top, he's ready to rock this fucking top. And with the top comes muscle. Oh, wait, hold on. Do you really want to save? Yes. Overwrite previous data, of course. Okay. It is now time for the main portion of this game. It is, of course, the story of Eikachi. I really hate the touring system in CEW. Are you doing a Japanese company right now, Patch? Also, hi, welcome on into tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. You, my friend, are just in time. We are about to start the incredible story of... Hey, what? I did select the friggin' rule breaker. Goddamn skill type. I don't mean to, like, extend this out, but, like, I need this to be accurate to what we're doing, okay? Unless he starts as a rule breaker by just, you know, like, the sheer, like, virtue of the story mode, then I don't want him to do that. He's a high flyer, brother. My Cornell-verse save is a Japanese company, yeah. Kind of a no equivalent if they had a Yakuza scandal. Well... Wait, you're like indebted to the Mafia? You're like indebted to the Yakuza? To Mr. Kazuma Kiryu? That's crazy. Well, hopefully he doesn't need too much money from you. No, two of the top guys were Yakuza, and then they got kicked out, and no one wanted to be there anymore. Okay, so, hello Devin, how are you? Welcome back. I will show off your art during the post-show, but for now, let's go. It's time for history to be made, or maybe not made, depending on how I'm feeling, as Egg Hachi takes his first steps into a wrestling world that hopefully doesn't have goddamn Mark Jindrak in it. Oh goodness, I think we're gonna need some music here. Okay, I'm ready for the next one. Send them in. Dude, that's awesome. So, you go by the name of Egg. Interesting. According to this report put together by my WWE scouts, I see that you have just recently graduated from wrestling training. Top of your class. Yes, sir. They said I was a natural and had a bright future ahead of me. I figured that the only place worth making my mark is right here in the WWE. So here I am. Well, that's fine, but let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. You see, you might be here at the WWE offices, but I wouldn't say that you were in the WWE. At least not yet. I realize that where you came from, you were a big fish in a small pond. But now that you're under my roof, you're going to go back to being a pleb, a nobody. At least, until such a time as we feel that you're truly WWE material. Until such a time comes that we feel you're ready for the next step towards the spotlight. It won't be easy. You'll feel like you're paying your dues all over again because that's exactly what you'll be doing. You may have been hot stuff when you just came from. But around here, you're nothing until you put in the time and and the effort to prove yourself. If you can't abide by that, then you've got no chance in hell of making it in the WWE. And if you fail, I've got a list pages long of men and women such as yourself who are willing to make the extreme sacrifices necessary to succeed in this business and in the WWE. So, after all that, are you certain that you still want to give WWE a try? Are you sure that this is for you? Are you certain you have what it takes? More than ever, Mr. McMahon. I know this is right for me, and I won't let you down. Great. That's the right answer. If you work hard, polish your skills, and do what you're told, you'll do fine. And if you do all that, you definitely won't let me down. Well, listen, I'm not really interested in fucking, making sure you're satisfied. I really just kind of want to make sure that I'm making my money. Awesome! Where do I start? Will I be on Raw or SmackDown? Will I have a manager? Can I meet Trish? Hold on just a second there, Egg. Your first assignment is going to be on our WWE developmental program. You'll have some matches there where our WWE trainers can take a look at you close up. And ask you, what the fuck is up with those lips? How is your lips, one would say. That'd help you effectively build and utilize your skills and ring technique. It won't be glamorous or easy for you, but if you can prove yourself there, you'll likely be promoted to some appearances on WWE's Sunday Night Heat. If, and only if, you prove yourself on Heat, well then the time may come where you'll be assigned to either the Raw or SmackDown brand rosters. And at that time, I'll be only too happy to present you with your first WWE contract. I trust that you find all of this acceptable. You bet. Fuck you, Mr. McMahon. Fine. So I expect you to report to WWE Developmental immediately. I'm certain that they'll want to get you involved in some tune-up matches right away. I wish you good luck. Alright, cool. So, like, are we going to the Performance Center, or at least, like, the primordial version of it? Or are we, like, on, like, Tough Enough or something? I will laugh if... Oh, wait! No way! Do we have, like, a career mode profile? Status, unnamed wrestler. And listen, that's gonna change here before too long. It does feel a little weird that we have absolutely no goddamn music here, and I have to fill in the blanks myself. This is kind of a neat menu, though. It reminds me a lot like of the mid-2010s 2K games, which I don't know if that's a good memory to have, but it does remind me of those things. It does remind me of those two things. I made 39 other cars and plan on doing a starting lineup. I won't tag any of the people I made cars for unless they want to know who I paired them with. Oh, you know what? I wouldn't mind knowing who you pair me with. I think that would be pretty fucking cool. Dude, look at his butt crown. Can I, like, customize him further, or are we just, like, stuck with this man for the time being? Alright, Norman Smiley, I'm ready for my tune-up. 4th week of March. Show 1. Report to WWE Developmental. I have a feeling we have a lot of cutscenes here, dude. The coach! Oh, no. Hey, excuse me. I saw you walk in. You are... My name is Egg. Egg. Right. Well, in any case, there's no need for me to introduce myself. I'm sure you already know Jonathan Cochin, the coach. Not everyone knows that the coach has done just about everything that there is to do in this company. Commentary, interviewing, even wrestling. And I'm the best there is. I've won pay-per-view matches, and I've even been the protege to the great Eric Bischoff. He told me just how much AEW sucks, brother. So, as you can imagine, there's no assignment that Mr. McMahon himself would not personally entrust to the coach. And that's why when the WWE needed an extra talent scout to evaluate a new batch of up-and-coming rookies in the beginning stages of their careers, they turned to me.
It's
So
almost time for a 2.5-minute Cheetos break, my
and you'll
dudes.
have to wrestle Norman Smiley. He wasn't retired just yet. Dude, I would pop so hard. So do yourself a favor. Always listen to what the coach has to say. I don't know, man. This isn't 2008 SVR. You are not the general manager of Raw just yet.
It's break time. Where the heck's the
I don't quite
Cheetos,
see
my
why I
dudes?
need to pay attention to you. Hold on, Raw rolls on after this. Oh my goodness gracious. While the grapples aren't as good in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, the game certainly comes out swinging, so to say. Henry's long-awaited second adventure begins with him Dude, I don't even remember and Lord how long Capen I made this being one. sent to the gallows after getting into a fight with a couple of nasty ruffians. Can you meet Trish
While
now?
there,
LOL.
Capen lets
No, I'm
loose
over
on
here
Henry.
at FCW,
Not
brother.
even his dog is safe from the irate Lord's tongue
What would it
lashing.
be at this point? Would
It's
it be like
ridiculous.
OVW? I'm pretty sure it
Capen
would
is
be
one of the
OVW at
game's
this
few
point.
love interests, and if you've watched our show long enough, you know I had to go with him. We can't show the sloppy wet kiss they share, but you know how much we love upsetting parents out there. We assure you, it's an incredible sight. Anyway, no amount of pearl clutching can taint the game's uniqueness. It sacrifices a lot for the sake of immersion, including an intuitive combat system. Slow, clunky sword fighting that seems to give you the short end of the stick more often than not. The controls are very night-feeling and responsive, and the world reacts not just to your actions in combat, but in conversations too. There's a lot of talking in the game, and the writing is good. We had a lot of fun trying to impress some wenches with a well-timed poop joke. Everyone knows feces are funny, and in that area, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, well, delivers. So I think in order to make sure that this is not dead silent, I'm gonna play some No Mercy music over it.
Because, like, I would imagine that over this cutscene here, the licensed music would play. And I don't really want that. I'm pretty sure that Bonecracker is safe. But I don't want to take chances on, like, Public Enemy and Breaking Benjamin. You know? Because that shit is 100% not gonna be safe.
Om nom nom. Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Welcome back to OVW, I guess. I can make careers, or I can break them. So it pays to follow my instructions. Got it? Sure. Okay, great. So we got your first WWE developmental match coming up right now. If you want the coach to be impressed, just go out there and win it. Can you not win your matches in this? Alright, so are we going to, like, come out to, like, an entrance here? Do we have entrances in developmental? Oh, God. Oh, my. Dude, it's a packed house over here in OVW, man. We don't even have nameplates. But we got pyro. We got fire for days, dude. Dude, I'm never gonna get to the main roster like this. All the pyro bunches being blown. Ah! Ah! Really? Dude, we can't even escape it. Who the fuck is this gonna be? No. Dude. I don't know who this guy is. It's probably a trainer. All right. Joey Rock, trainee. Okay, here we go. I think that this is some goddamn motherfucking, here comes the pain music time. Or even just the minor circuit. You know what? No. I enjoy the idea of this being minor circuit. Alright, here we go. Come on, I can defeat goddamn Joey, right? Nice. I can defeat motherfucking goddamn Joey, right? Ow! Okay, maybe I can't. What? Ah! Ow, my fucking back. This is Vinny. Dude, this guy looks like Vinny Vine Sauce. A little bit. It doesn't look like there are countouts out here, so I'm pretty sure I could just hang out here for a while if that's if that's what I want to do. Ow, no. Fuck you. Wait, so hold on. Is this false count anywhere? This feels like it. Dude, why is he reversing all my shit? Oh man, the AI is stuck! The AI is stuck! Yes, I can pin them out there. Or maybe I can't. Maybe I can't do that, actually. Okay, but I can work them over on the outside. That's good. I'm sorry, it sounds like farts, chat. It sounds like farts to my brain. Nice. Hurricane Rana. We got the Shane McMahon taunt. The more flailing around he does, the better, honestly.
Break.
Okay, let's see here. Come on. Yeah! It's a crazy elbow drop. It almost looks like a coffin drop. Okay, it looks like okay, it looks like that we might actually be able to win this one. It's at least much easier than goddamn motherfucking, ow! The goddamn, Mark Jindrak. That much is for certain. Oh, he's got a bad case of hurt tummy, dude. Nice, Bulldog. Camel clutch. Tap out Joey. Tap out Joey. Dude. Ow! Dude, I just saw it. Edge versus Egg. That's gonna be money when we get around to it. If we get around to it. The ref stands like a goon and doesn't do shit unless you're pinned. Hits one with a weapon or out the ring. I mean, yes. Dude, world's strongest slam? Okay. Alright, here, let's go ahead and do this. Oh, BME! No way! 1, 2, 3. We defeated Joey! Let's fucking go! He is truly the fishbone cracker. With a win like that, he is the fishbone cracker. So wait, hold on. Am I gonna get up on the ramp? Please. Yes! Yeah! Dude, that's awesome. Siding moves, SS. Grapples countered. Strikes countered. Oh wait, so am I like graded on like how like fucking good I do in the match? There's like a lot of criteria here. Okay. And I get more skill points depending on like, you know, like how good I do in the match. All right. My question is, can I lose matches in this game, or am I like, or is it like more structured like a modern wrestling game? I have 13 attribute points and $270 to my name. $270? Okay, I feel like counter is kind of what we want to invest in, especially in the early goings here. Save. I would like to save, yes. If I was a ref, I want to be seen as a drill sergeant-like guy. Dude, if I was a ref, I would want to be like Bryce Rensburg and like officiate like wrestlers involving like invisible men. I think that shit would be peak. First week of April. 5 minutes of playtime. Yeah, for this show, I would like to get out of developmental if possible. I've got to admit, you showed me something out there in your last match. But don't kid yourself. It's going to take a lot more than that to impress the coach. I thought you said that winning last week would have been enough. Typical Jonathan Coachman moving the fucking goalposts. So for your next match, not only do you need to win, but I also want you to make sure you can finish off an opponent quickly, if you're asked to. I understand, yada yada yada, you gotta stay within your times. So, you've got 5 minutes. 5, C5, to win your next match. What's your name, kid? A human spider? No, it's the goddamn fishbone cracker, don't you forget it, coach. I will never get tired of seeing his goddamn fish lips. So, like, if I don't win this in 5 minutes... What the... That's not my music! Wow, look at the size of that hammock. Brad Brickson, you got 5 minutes to defeat your opponent. All right. Let's do minor circuit now. So, like, if I don't beat him within 5 minutes, so I just lose the match?
Hello, Mario.
It is in motion, brother. Welcome on them. Patootie Birdie. Can I call you Birdie? I enjoy the name Birdie quite a bit, honestly. Yee. Dude, he's in motion, and isn't he just handsome? Can I call you Giraffe Man? You sure can. You can call me Giraffe Man. Honestly, I prefer you call me that instead of Gira, because Gira is one of my characters. My counter game is shit right now. No. Like, anytime that anyone throws something at me, I really just need to, like, take it. Because my counter game just is not good. Okay, I escaped. Oh! Let's go, yeah! Ow. Okay, I need to, like, actually go up to the top. I can't be doing, like, springboards when they're standing up, otherwise it's not gonna be good. Damn it! I would like to try and, like, practice my practice my counters, but I need to stick within my time here. Oh, nice! He is poetry in motion, chat. Fuck! Nice. with his tiny fists. His tiny fists. Shakespeare ain't got shit on this for fucking sure, brother. They say wrestling is a mixture of combat sports and theater. This is the theater, dude. 1, 2, 3. Yeah! I didn't even need to do a finisher. It's theater with issues. Yes. That's what fucking wrestling is, dude. And I love it. I'm not even a big theater guy, but I love wrestling. It's my thing. My favorite thing, in fact. And, you know, over time, it's also got me more interested in other sports, like basketball and shit. I countered nothing. And I had... Oh! I get graded on the move that I finished the match with? Whoa, that's crazy. Okay. So there's actually, like, a lot more, like, psychology going on with this than I'm used to. Looks like my report cards. Oh, man, a D in math again? Fuck. Oh, well, last time was a F, so it's fine. I hear your tits don't work. Is that true? The rumors of my tits' demise are unfortunately very correct. Brock Lesnar build. At least Brock Lesnar didn't skip leg day, you know? And he didn't have, like, Trump hands. Alright, let's go ahead and let's see if we can upgrade anything. I can actually upgrade a couple things. So right now, I'm just gonna dump everything I can into counter. Because we need to be able to counter more stuff. We'll go ahead and save after every match. He didn't have, like, fishbone legs. By the way, we are now Egg Hachi, the fishbone cracker. Because as his theme song insinuates, he is the fish, he is the bone cracker. He's the bone cracker. He's the comfort behind the man attacker. So on and so forth. He'll always be Hey Hoochie to me. I mean, he's a lot of things rolled into one, really. Look at him. He's perfect. Alright, we gotta go to the next scene. Again, I would like to know if you can lose matches in here. I don't think we'll find that out until we actually... Ah! What are you doing? The fishbone cracker? Not on my SmackDown! Oh my gosh. Ponytail. Mr. Heyman! Mr. Heyman! I've been wanting to meet you for a long time. My name is Mr. Heyman. This is the new guy I was telling you about. Please let me introduce... What was your... It's Egg. Like I said, Mr. Heyman, it's an honor to meet a former WWE GM such as yourself. I'm sure it is. Coach, he doesn't look like much, but you can't always judge a book by its cover. I'm here watching some of our developmental talent tonight. What can I expect from you? If he squats, does the crowd shoot off like a missile? Dude, that's his special attack. That's like his like secret special attack that he does like once per couple years. He's a little rough around the edges, but he does have a few interesting moves. Yeah, like that crown. Yeah, like that crown on his ass. I hear it can shoot out like a rocket. If he was an ECW, I would have liked that shit a lot. Well, as you know, a man such as myself is always looking for performers with a little attitude and panache. So in your match tonight, why not show off some style? That's a great idea, Mr. Heyman. Egg, in your match tonight, why don't you show Mr. Heyman your finishing move? Only just make sure he notices it. Only just to make sure he notices it. Do it twice. You want me to hit my finisher twice? Okay, no problem. Sounds like something out of Ultimate Muscle. No, you're right. You're right. I could totally see that in fucking Ultimate Muscle. That's awesome. John Cena bald spot. Let's give him a bit more credit, okay? John Cena may have a dad cut, but this is definitely a cut. It is one of the cuts of all time, I would say. I think that, at least, is very safe to say. Hold on. I feel really silly because when you would pop into Mr. Cool streams, I thought the hair below your head was your hands. I do. No, I don't have tiny Trump hands, okay? My hands are fully formed and fully masculinized, if that's even a word. You can't see me was referring to his hair, apparently. You can't see my hair in 20 years from now in this game. I don't have no, don't you go capping me, brother. My hands are fully forward and very large. Ah, but listen, he's fucking dead now. He's fish fried. He's the fishbone cracker. Alright, you'll need to hit your finisher twice. Well, I got two finishers for you, Paul Heyman. Alright, I gotta lock in here. Why is he humping the air? Where was he humping the air? I mean, like, listen, that's just what Edge would do. You know, that's like what he would do around this time. He would, if he wasn't humping the air when he got into his goddamn, when he got into the ring, then he would hump the ring himself. Is that Lee from Tekken? Dude, it's Heihachi versus Lee. That's crazy. Nice. Nah, we're not done yet, brother. Dude, he's wing. Which I'm pretty sure is just another pronunciation for Lee. Really. Yeah, baby. Dude, why does he taunt so slow? Every single grapple I have on the ground is a goddamn, submission hold, it feels like. Because moving his feet is painful. You know what? That's very fair. I mean, look at him. Look at the way he moves. He like, doesn't, like, land on the back of his feet. He, like, lands on the front. You know? Oh, dude, he reversed that shit. The fish slips is crazy. Come on. Oh, shit. What developmental worker is this? Come on. I can strike with the best of them, brother. You ain't got nothing on. Ow! He's got flat feet, so he wrestles in orthopedic shoes. There you go. Listen, man, whatever it takes to be the best in wrestling, he's gonna fucking do it. Ah! Apparently including concussing himself. He wants his mouth to recede, and he'll do anything to make it happen. Oh! Oh, Scorpion Death Drop. And I want to make sure that I do his finisher twice. So that way I impress Paul Heyman from ECW. Oh, that's the first thing I see coming back. Dude, I'm willing to do anything, including giving myself a severe concussion. Dude! He never does anything that I can predict. Ow! My fucking chest and gut and spleen.
Break!
Wrestling in a nutshell. Listen, man. We don't call that dumb. We call that for the love of the game. Alright? It's called for the love of the game. Something you marks wouldn't understand. Something that you goddamn marks could never understand. I cannot hit him with my goddamn springboard from a lane position. It needs to be like while he's standing up. So hold on, let me go ahead and do this. No. No! Ah! I got you, you bitch! I got you now, bitch! Yes! Alright, here we go. Best moonsault ever! Yeah, baby! Now that's money. No! No, no, no! No, no, no! Take my Michinoku driver! Ow! Wait, can I? Wait, I can target the ref? Yes! Dude, that's awesome! I can't think of many other wrestling games that actually let you target the referee. That's awesome. Ah, crossbody! He's breaking necks with that Hurricane Rana, dude. For fucking real. He is very much in the ropes. One thing I also like is that you can also, like, make it so that you're not actively trying to submit someone, but you are, like, you know, working over their body, you know? No. No! No! Not the striking combination! Ow! No. Rope break! Rope break, please! Okay. Yeah! We gotta work over the body again. So, like, instead of, like, actively trying to, like, you know, submit someone, you can use it to, like, build momentum and just work over a body part. Again, there's quite a bit more psychology to this than I was expecting. Maybe that's why a lot of people like this game. It has a lot, like, of attention to systems and stuff. Ow! There's, like, a lot of emphasis on systems. I need to stop fucking... I need to stop hurting the ref, otherwise I'm gonna get myself DQ'd. Alright, you want the BME twice? I'll give you it twice. Best moonsault ever! Ow! Run that back! Run that shit back! Quick! No, get up! No! Are you kidding me, dude? I'm throwing a tantrum because the spot didn't go well. God damn it, I'm so stupid! 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 I took it out on his neck. He's a little child. I love that. Oh! The surfboard stretch?
Break!
Dude, no way! I really feel like that I'm not building up momentum in a very, like, efficient way, honestly. I am most certainly breaking this guy's ribcage right now. Ooh, nice! Dude, the fucking sound effects in this game are still fucking awesome. Ah! Whoa! I'm gonna fucking kill you. I don't know who you are, but I'm gonna fucking kill you. Michinoku driver! And just to put the exclamation point on it, best moonsault! Ow! DQ! Wait, no. Oh, okay. It's like I actually need to win the match then. Alright, got it. I'm gonna take it out on him, dude. I'm not fucking around here in NXT anymore, whatever the fuck this is. It's CZW. It's crazy that they brought, like, signs to this house show. Damn, I guess you hit the ref too many times. Dude, I bullied this referee. It's crazy. Monkey flip? Wow. I bullied that referee like nuts. That was actually, like, mean of me to do all that fucking bullying to him. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's a fucking cool story, brother. No, ow! Yeah, I did in fact hit the ref too many times.
Break!
I did not realize that you could have a friggin' rope break with, punches. Or they're grounded punches. Oh, nice! Doing a little skip. Trying to get the razor-thin bone joints lubricated. The Johnny Test goddamn... What? Huh? Why? Dude, he's taking inspiration from me tonight. Dude, he's taking inspiration. He wants to cheat. This ref is getting abused, dude. This ref just keeps taking abuse. Back rake, nice. What? Ow! Up, 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 up. Listen, I know you might have broken your tailbone, but you need to lock in. Oh, shit. Oh, hey, I dodged that shit, kinda. I actually kinda dodged that shit, that was sick. And now it's time for the freaking stretch on the outside. Okay, great. I have a finisher stored up. Let me in the ring, please. Michinoku driver! And for the finishing touch. Best moonsault ever! That's it. Oh no, his foot is in the ropes. Fuck. Dude, honestly, the Michinoku driver to the BME is great. The goddamn Michinoku driver into the BME is class, honestly. No. No! Not the momentum shift! Not the momentum shift! It's fine, I just want to work him over.
It's almost time for a 2.5-minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
Is it really? Can we snooze? Thank you. second. Dude, honestly, I'm having a lot of fun with this. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm having so much fun with this right now. This is great. Oh! Everything in this is so, like, crunchy. I like... I enjoyed the pacing of the matches. I enjoyed the system set place here in the story mode. Like, this is very video gamey of a story mode, I would say. No, we need to... No, we need to fucking end this with the BME, dude. Or at least the Michinoku driver. I don't want to submit him with that. I don't want to submit him with the goddamn, stretch there. Single leg Boston Crab! I could very easily end him with that, but I don't want to. No! Ah! No! Take my shit! Take my Michinoku driver, dude! Fine, you know what? I see Agachi as a future Hall of Famer. Honestly, I do too. He's a base for real. Wow. Really? I cannot let him pop off one of those finishers, dude. Oh, ow! I cannot let him pop off a finisher, dude. No! No, 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 no! No! Okay, 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 okay. I just need to work him over a little bit more. Can I bust him open with my shitty little gloves? That really was close. Oh, I did it! Dude, dude, it's like splotchy. Dude, that shit was like a puddle. That was crazy. Come on. Michinoku driver! And the piece de la resistance. You know what? Fuck it. No! The arm bar! Dude, I need to just end this shit. Stop playing with your food and just fucking end it. Ow! Okay, I need to just end this shit. Michinoku driver!
It's almost time for a 2.5 minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
Stop playing with your goddamn food and end the goddamn match, Logan. Ah! Fuck it, we're just gonna submit him. There we go. Do we snooze that? I don't know if we have enough to snooze. Nah, we don't. Wow. We just gotta have so many receipts. Dude, after that, abso-fucking-lutely, wow. After a match like that, absolutely. Okay. I'm gonna run an ad now. Dude, this is so
break
fun.
Time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dude?
This is fun as fuck. This is so fun. I'm having a great time with this.
And now we're going to power up the Virtual Boy. Virtual Boy has 3 major components. The stand, the head
Alright, this is
unit,
a good
and the
time for
controller.
me
The
to
stand is packed
duck out
flat.
for a second.
So you want to take the stand, spread it open, and then set it firmly on the table with the feet facing forward for support. The head unit has got to be connected with the controller. So insert the controller into the spot on the head unit, and you're ready to go. Now, take your head unit, place it into the support bracket. You want to be very careful and do it gently from the back. So you tilt it in first, then push it down. There's a little spring in the back here that you can push down to open up the support bracket so it doesn't go in tightly. Release the spring, and then gently tighten it up with the tension control knob here on the side. Once you feel tension, just turn it slightly upwards until it catches. You don't need a lot of tension here. It just needs to support itself. The next thing you want to do is load in your batteries. Your batteries are in the controller on the front panel. Press the panel down, gently push it up, and your batteries will load into the slot here, 3 up and 3 down. Push it down, click it in place, and then you're ready to go. The final thing is to put your game cartridge into place. The game cartridge goes into the slot underneath the Virtual Boy. Now you have to be careful when you push the game cartridge in. You want to make sure that it connects firmly all the way in the back, because if it doesn't connect properly, when you turn it on, you won't get anything. So you want to make sure that the game cartridge is in place properly, so when you turn it on, you hear it. Virtual Boy does not have a video output port because it would only send out the signal of one of the layers of the 3D graphics. Remember, the images of Virtual Boy are created by your eyes, which combine
I need new eyes
separately
then.
projected
Shit.
LED images from both sides. What
I
we're
need
showing
fucking
you
new
here is
eyes
some
then.
exclusive footage of some of the upcoming Virtual Boy games. We obtained this footage with our cameras at E3, so please be aware that the images captured here do not in any way recreate the actual 3-dimensional elements of the game's graphics and gameplay. So far, we've played Mario's Tennis, Galactic Pinball, Red Alarm, and Tolero Boxer, so stick around and see our ratings on all these games and more.
And more?
Nom. Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Wow. And welcome back to OVW, I guess. Yeah, like, goddamn. Wow. Wing is gonna have so many receipts for Egg Hachi. Like, that was insane. We took so many liberties with this kid. That was... that was mean, honestly. Right around now is when I would probably start doing the post-show, but I'm honestly having a lot of fun with this. I want to keep going.
Hello, Mario.
Teddy! Welcome on into tonight's Slumboy Club meeting. Would you like to see our man? This is Eikachi. He's the fishbowl cracker. He's the fishbowl cracker. And he is right now in WWE Developmental. Homie gonna hit with a car. Homie gonna hit with a car. Like, for real. Off camera. And that's for shoot, brother. You're right. The crown on the ass is awesome. That is the royal ass. That's the royal ass. And I want that on SmackDown. Or ECW. Alright. Match 4. The 3rd week of April. V.0.6. Oh no, it's the V1! Alright, here we go. Yeah! Brother, that's awesome. Egg, I want you to meet Matt freaking Hardy. He's here in the WWE developmental for a little while to rehab his right leg. He strained some ligaments back on Raw a few weeks ago. Nice to meet you, Matt. You can call me Matt Hardy version 0.7, since I'm only at about 70% right now. Yeah, I'm about 70%, so the trainers want me to work a few matches down here to make sure I'm good to go on TV. That's where you come in, Egg. You and Matt are going to have a match tonight, and what you need to do is test out Matt's leg. Oh, so you want me to, like, put him in crabs and stuff? That sounds extreme, but don't worry. You won't do any more damage to them using standard wrestling moves and submissions. Give me all you got. I'm sure I could take it, because I am the V1! Or at least I would be if my legs were fine. So to succeed in this match, you need to work Matt's legs as best you can, and then see if you can make him submit. Got it? Work the legs, and go for a submission. Brother, I can do that all fucking day. Alright? Careful, that man could totally delete you non-stop. He could delete me from his fucking webpage at this point in time. I hope you're enjoying the story mode so far. I love it, dude. I think the way this game rates you is very interesting. Because, like, it's a mix of, like, your own skill and psychology. You know? But look at this. It's time for the fish fry, brother. Ah! Oh no, I'm on fire, I gotta run! Ah! And the fire's trying to get him, but he gets in the ring. He's safe. Or at least he thinks he is, because then... Ah! He was seasoned and now he's fried. He's the fishbone cracker. He's the fishbone cracker. Fire hot, indeed hot. Ah, brother. It is time for peak. Oh, yeah! He can slap a tornado, chat. I hear. Really nice of Raw to send Matt Hardy over to OVW. Wait, where? Hold on. Does he not have his Mattitude graphics? No, not yeah. You don't got him. So how many of you guys played SVR, and how many of you picked Matt Hardy in career mode? I believe it. Good, because he does. He does slap tornadoes for a living, right here. Alright, now that we've upgraded to Matt freaking Hardy, I think we need to do Major Circuit. Oh hey, his legs are fucked up. It's like, I need to work his legs as much as possible then. That I can do, Matthew. It's like, I'm just gonna, like, put him in... I'm just gonna put him in a shitload of submissions. Ow! What? V1 doesn't want to go back to Raw. I'm making sure my ribs are broken too. See, now that's the big brain power of the V1. Nice. nothing like reverse crazy style. Break this man, send that to his broken arc early. Dude, I will. I'll give him a broken freaking neck. And broken freaking legs, I guess. Ah! Oh, the knee bar. I think I need to, like, fuck him up, like, incredibly before he's gonna tap out to anything. So here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna focus on the Michinoku driver. Oh, okay. Oh, fuck. V1! Ah! No way. Oh, Hurricane Rana! Super Rana. Nice. We're gonna work his arms. Oh, shit. Oh, shit!
Break!
Dude, he's a fucking unit. I'm constantly in awe of him. World's Strongest Slam! Right. In the knee bar again. And you get an up close look at the grippers. I mean, you say that I should break Matt frickin' Hardy. I think he's doing that just fine on his own, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Oh shit. Come on. It is very hard to reverse right now, dude. For free? In this economy? Yeah, he will. In the rough economy of 2004, he's gonna goddamn break himself, I feel like. I mean, I feel at this point he's already kind of on the road to doing that, but you know. Surfboard stretch! Surfboard stretch! Alright, so they wanted us to finish off Matt freaking Hardy with a submission. That's what we're gonna do. Michinoku driver! So that way he doesn't get up, you see. Oh! Knee bar! Knee bar! Fucking sick, dude. That was a wonderful match, honestly. Yeah, look at my tiny hand and my giant forearm. Hell yeah, dude. We slapped the tornado and we dried up the sea. All we have to do is live for the moment now. I countered one strike, I think. Matt freaking Hardy honestly got a lot on me. Stamina used. So, like, it also, like, grades you on how, like, fast you fucking do this, or if you're, like, using up too many of your resources. That's interesting. Okay. Let's see here. Again, just pour it all into counter. Because right now, it is still pretty hard to counter stuff, and I would like to make sure that we can actually do that at some point in time. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this so far. This has been a very worthwhile experience, making our absolutely just insane man here and going through and just sort of experiencing this game for the first time. Because again, I didn't grow up with a GameCube, so I really couldn't goddamn play this even if I wanted to. Alright, what is next? Hey coach, I think I impressed Heyman 2 weeks ago, and I beat Matt Hardy in my last match. Do you think you could put in a word to Sunday Night Heat for me? Whoa, 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 Egg. Let's keep it real. Mr. Heyman isn't so easily impressed. Let's face it, you didn't beat Matt Hardy V1. You beat Matt Hardy version 0.7. So before you cry yourself Mr. Sunday Night, here's a word of advice. Keep working hard, always listen to the coach, and your time will come. So after hearing one of the coach's legendary pep talks, I'm sure you're pumped for your next match. Let's see how you utilize your aerial skills. Before you defeat your opponent, that is, if you beat him, you'll need to hit him with at least 2 aerial moves off the top turnbuckle. Think you can handle that? Count on it. Well, listen. I know just what to do in this scenario, then. We're going to goddamn, do an elbow drop, and then we're gonna hit him with that goddamn BME. Just as God intended. I was about to say it's gonna be goddamn polyamorous again. It's like the default. So who are we facing in this one? Lieutenant Mortar, trainee. Hit opponent with at least 2 aerial moves off the top turnbuckle. Player side, Egg. Opponent's side, Lieutenant Mortar. He's on his way to fry this goddamn egg. But not if I have anything to say about it. Alright. Oh my god, he fucking looks like a WCW power plant, man. I love him very, very much, chat. Wow. Come on. Yeah, baby. Dude, at this point, I need to be, like, pixel perfect. They're frame perfect with my goddamn timing. I think we've upgraded to some Here Comes the Pain music. Also, my cat has invaded my friggin' desk here, and I don't want to take him off of it. So if you hear, like, someone batting my goddamn mic arm, that's why. It's because my cat is very curious. Hi, Henry. How are you? Cat is the manager. That's very true. Hi, buddy. 1, 2. Wait, hold on. I don't want to finish it just yet. Dude, I am pushing this man's shit in. Wow. Okay, I hit him, right? Has he been hit? No way! Okay, I was about to say. I wanted to see if I could close that distance. Wow. Ah, get out of here. I was trying to get back to, like... I was trying to, like, get back face to face with him, but I couldn't do it. Dude, hit! Dude, can you not hit your goddamn thing anymore? Okay, there you go. Wow. Alright, let's see if I can hit him with the crossbody. I will break up the pin because I have a feeling that he's gonna kick out. Or rather, I have a feeling that he's gonna stay down for it. But let's see. 1, 2! Yeah, we're not doing it just yet, brother. That BME is gonna hit like crack when we go for it. Oh shit! Ow!
Break!
So, I don't really think we needed to, like, goddamn go for the rope break. Okay. Oh, shit! Dragon screw! No! No! Not after the freaking arm... Dude, not after, like, working the arm. Please. I do not want to lose to, like, just some, like, limb work. Oh, no! No. No! No, please.
1, 2, 3!
Are you kidding me?
Hello, Mario.
Ah, so wait. Yeah, I need to win that. Okay. Hi, Soul. Welcome to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. We're trying to win against Egg, and now I'm very upset because the ref counted fast. So, you know what? I'm upset because the referee counted quickly. There. Count correctly this time. Count fucking correctly, you dingus. Yeah, how are you, Soul? I'm trying to do my best out here, but it's pretty tough. I'm trying to do my best out here, but the coach keeps, like, fucking, like, moving the goalposts on us. I don't know if we'll ever get to friggin' Raw or Heat. Don't like the submission noises. It's weirdly rubbery. Dude, the submission noises sound like farts. That was like one of the first observations I made about this game, is that the submission noises all sound like farts to me. They all sound like wet farts. Is it like an autistic thing to, like, be able to picture, like, like, the images that go with sounds when you hear them? Like in this, like when I hear the submission noises in this game, I think about a fart or your grandpa's chair, you know? Like it's one of those two things, you know? It sounds like your grandfather's chair or like someone letting off a big one, you know? It's weird. Oh shit. I shouldn't have taunted. Oh hey, there you go. Takedown. No. Ooh! The chops! Ow! Midsection. Shit. Fuck you. Die, bitch. Ow. Okay, fine. we can edit that out, I'm sure. It's OVW. I'm sure we can edit that shit out. Wait, why am I being booed? Chat, do you hear that? What the? Ah, dude. Dude, he's too heavy, and I'm too light. No! Get off of me, freaking dingus. Here, you know what? I'm gonna freaking put you in the Boston Crab. Single leg Boston Crab, in fact. Why am I going towards the ropes? Eggy, why are you going towards the ropes? Alright. Okay. Now we're ready. World widest man is light? That's crazy. I know. It's all in the legs. Oh, hey! That was sick shit. Egg. Egg. Nice. Nice. Alright, we hit one move. Now it's time for my favorite move on the planet, the BME. Ah! Okay, we actually did it. It connected somehow.
1, 2, 3.
That should be good enough. I connected with 2 moves. I connected with 2 aerial moves. Alright. We are well on our way, I think. Yeah, we took liberties with that one guy that week. You know, we gave him color on our random episode, but I think, for all intents and purposes, we did pretty good. We got a double S on the deciding move. We could have done a shitload worse there, I feel like. I mean, we did lose, you know, that first go around, but listen, that right there, it's old news, all right? That right there is yesterday's news. All right, let's see if I can put any more into counter. I will say a big part of it is also that I just suck at countering and reading, like, what could be coming next from them. I feel like the CPU is in my head, chat. I feel like the CPU is getting inside my head. Because anytime I press R, I think they're gonna strike, but they don't. They always go for the grapple, and vice versa. And pressing the code. I've not been doing that for the past month and change. As you know, Egg, the coach is tough, but he's also fair. Is he? I admit that you've shown me something during your time here at WWE Developmental. I think you might be close to the next step. We both know that you've got a pretty fair arsenal of offensive moves. But the coach can't just recommend your promotion without seeing if you can defend yourself. So in the next match, I want to see how you are at defensive tactics. Let's see you counter your opponent's throws twice. If you can reverse them twice, that would impress on me that there's more to your skills than just a potent offense. You do want to impress the coach, don't you? I told Mr. McMahon I do what it takes to prove myself, and if it's impressing the coach, then I'll do it. Dude, no. We in OVW? I guess so, brother. I fucking guess so, because, like, listen, we've been doing nothing but, like, dark matches or, like, house show matches for, like, the past month or so. Just keep your head empty. You can do nothing if they don't find anything in there. That's very, very true. I'll make sure that my goddamn skull is vacant and free real estate. Much like his. Dude, I might actually be cooked in this one, though. Much like him there. Ah! Run! Run! Run for the fire! Run! Alright, great. Ah! Perfectly seasoned and fried is the fishbone cracker. Yeah, this might be tough, dude. What? I come out before polyamorous number 5? You know what? Fuck it. I have a faction name for everyone that's coming out to polyamorous. This right here is the polycule. Wing, Sergeant, whatever the fuck his name is, Paul Pugilist, Joey, and the 5th guy. That right there is the polycule. And I'm burying all of them. Good for them. Good for them. We have... Dude, every polycule needs, like, archetypes of... Jesus Christ! Ow! Alright. Throw your shit at me, dude. Yes, exactly. Good for them. Nice! Get up, you. I know you got more in you. Nice! Come on, brother. I can bob and weave with the best of them. Nice! Okay, okay, good. I did it. I did it twice. Now it's time to submit you. Maybe. I will say that this is the craziest polycule I've ever seen, chat. This is some insane tech. Truly, love can blossom anywhere. Even in OVW. I'm proud of all of them. But I'm... even Wing, who coincidentally is currently in the middle of a lawsuit that he filed against me, and I just want him to go easy on me in court. So Wing, maybe if you're hearing this, maybe be a bro and drop the charges. That would be pretty cool of you, I think. I think that'd be pretty cool of you, and I'll send you a nice little care package too. I love you, boo.
Break!
I love you. Ow. Ouch. Ugh. He may have the fists, but I got the feetsies. The little feetsies, in fact. I won't stop until he's raw hamburger meat, chat. Jeez, he has... Dude, the takedown? That's crazy. Ow! My leg! I'm getting my shit rocked right now. Wow. I do not want to lose this, man. Please. Not... Dude, not to the punches! Okay, good. Not to the shitty little punches. Ow! Ow! I'm getting my shit rocked. Ow!
Break!
I'm getting my shit rocked right now by these punches. Yeah, I should not try to go, like, blow for blow with him, it looks like. I need to, like, submit him.
Break!
I may be the fish bone cracker, but he's the bone breaker, it looks like. He is bone saw, is this man. give me a finisher, give me a finisher, give me a finisher. Here, you gave me it. Good. Michinoku driver! Oh, shit. No, no. You know what? Take it again. Michinoku driver again! Ah!
Break!
2 Michinoku drivers. Back to back. Holy shit. Egg is on fire and the Hurricane Rana. He's going to tap the crossbody.
1, 2.
Oh, but he's not done yet. I will fuck you up. You're gonna die. I guarantee it. With my friggin' feetsies. Alright. Michinoku driver number 3! And then, if I put the exclamation point, it is the BME! Didn't quite get all of it, but it's fine. Wait, what? Here. It's fine, it's fine. It's fine, we can work with that. 2, 3. Hell yeah. I may have sustained minor head damage. Wait, you need to counter your opponent's grapple twice. I grappled his strikes twice, though. The punchy Punisher for the Polycule getting pounded by a... Stop dancing and fight! Getting pounded... Dude, I'm pounding on him. I'm pounding on him crazy style. Alright, hold on.
It's almost time for a 2.5 minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
I guess strikes don't count. I guess fucking so. Wow. No, don't snooze that. We can fucking just let it ride. We can let that shit ride this time.
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes?
Raw freaking rolls on after this. Wow. Also, piecemeal ravioli. I'm happy that you're into wrestling, man. I'm glad to have you
Wrestling
here.
fans rejoice. WCW NWO Revenge is here. With 50 real-life wrestlers, awesome animation, and tons of different moves, rolling around in virtual tights has never been so much fun. All this game needs is an option to play as Jesse the Body Ventura. Wouldn't that be cool?
Really, all the game
Or how about
needs
a
is an
wrestling
option to
game
have a
featuring Bill,
Polycule
Hillary,
faction.
Monica Lewinsky,
That'd be pretty cool.
Ken Starr, Al D'Amato, and Henry Hyde. Now that would be the perfect wrestling game.
All this game needs is an option to play in a Polycule. Paul Pugilist, the pounding Punisher of the Polycule getting pounded on by Egg. I'm pounding it, dude. Camera angles, controller cues, player indicators. What? Zach, I could have talked over that. That's fine. But thank you, I guess. AV controller cameo. Fuck you, this ain't your story. The controller, this is not your story. You already had yours. This is Egg's story. This is Egg-Hachi's story. On by Egg. We are the egg cracker, dude. Oh, the egg cracker may not be the best, honestly. That may not be the best one. Fucking the controller is goddamn invading this story. You know, just because he defeated The Undertaker, he now thinks he's all that in a bag of chips.
Nom nom.
Listen.
Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Hey, welcome back to Raw. You don't defeat The Undertaker for another 6 years, the controller. You're still in your basement beating kids at goddamn Street Fighter Alpha, alright? You ain't shit yet. Okay, so I need to, like... Jesus! Come on. Ow. I love how he has a boxing stance. Yes! That's one. I just need to do two. I need to do two, dude. I'm trying to do two. I think I need to get him on the ropes a little bit. Dude, stop fucking punching me. Okay, good.
Break!
You ain't shit compared to my kicks. Fuck you. You ain't shit compared to them. Ah!
One, two.
Okay, I was about to say. Can you, like, hit a grapple, please? Okay, thank you. Well, I wasn't expecting it that time. You gotta give me some warning. Oh, hey! Dude, we're trading. Paul only has two things going for him. His fist and his molecule. I mean, those are two pretty good things, honestly. If we're being perfectly honest, those are two pretty good things. Come on. I'm just gonna work him over a little bit. I fucking... Dude, I hit L! I hit L! I hit L! I hit L! When is A gonna be in the championship picture? I mean, we're still in OVW, brother. I don't know if that's gonna happen for... probably until the next stream, honestly. Ow!
One.
Not... No! No, no, not... Not the BMW. Okay, good. Alright, Russian leg sweep. Okay, I need to hit the Michinoku driver here quick. Michinoku driver! And then the piece de la resistance! The PMA! Fuck yeah.
Two.
Okay, I reversed 2 of his grapples. Am I good now? Yay! Dude, I need to get my timing on grapples better, otherwise we're gonna be having a real hard time later on. We're gonna be having the hardest of times later on. This ain't gonna be the championship picture. We gotta get that OVW title, brother, before we go to, you know, SmackDown or Raw. Can we, like, edit our... Can we edit our superstar if we're not... rather, like, outside of the goddamn, story mode? In terms of, like, his appearance. It's like, obviously we can, you know, give him more stats and stuff. Status. Rookie of expectation? I don't like that. Durability. Because that's going to be pretty important if we're going to go to the main roster. Or even just Sunday Night Heat, because that's where we're going to take on Mark Jindrak again, and we know how dangerous he can be. So we got to make sure that we're in top form, dude. Exit. You sit down. Can I edit our man here? Yes, I can, I think. Should we, like, give him a new look when he gets up on the main roster? No, dude, that crown needs to be, like, a centerpiece of his story, I feel like. The crown has to be the centerpiece, I feel like. Like he eventually learns how to, like, take it off his butt and put it on his head. I think that's great, honestly. Like, what exactly were, like, the OVW championships? Obviously, there was probably, like, a world championship. The crown slowly crawls up his back as the story progresses. Dude, that's sick. I think when we get to Heat, it needs to, like, go up his... It needs to go up to, like, you know, the top of... Or, like, the bottom of his back, like a tramp stamp. You know? I feel like that'd be sick as hell. A reasonable man. Coach, I've been looking all over for you. Look, I don't want to sound ungrateful, but I feel like I'm getting a little bit of the runaround here. I've been pretty successful here in WWE Developmental, and I'm sure that I must have made an impression on the WWE scouts by now. But all I hear from you are instructions on how to wrestle. Win in under 5 minutes, win by submission, use 2 aerial moves, counter your opponent twice. I mean, come on. All you're doing is telling me what moves to use. How is that going to help me make it to the next level? You know what? You're absolutely right. Ever since you got here, the coach has done nothing but tell you which specific moves you've had to use. Well, I agree with you. It's high time we put an end to that. I won't request any more specific moves from you. Thanks, Coach. I was hoping you'd see it my way. I sure do. For tonight's match, you are banned from using any special finishing moves at all. That's right, if you use any finishing moves, you will automatically be disqualified from the match. See, the coach is a reasonable man. You're welcome. Hey, he is the coach. That's his job. I don't want to be bossed around by Jonathan Coachman. You know? He sucks. Jonathan Coachman sucks. I don't want to be bossed around by him. He's like Coolsville. I think Coolsville sucks, and I think goddamn Coachman sucks. I think Coolsville sucks. He got pie face out of the '06 Rumble. Yeah, exactly. And he thinks he's all, ah, okay, well now I'm hot shit. All right, it's time. You know what, Coach? If you're gonna be a smart ass, ah, damn you, Coach. The fire is 20 degrees hotter than normal. All right, cool. Dude, how big is this polycule? Who else do we have? Oh, God. Dude, the assless chaps? No way. The assless chaps are crazy. East Texas Kid. Yeah, that's what they call him during the foursome. All right, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and I'll do one that's very prompt of it. Dude, I love this guy. He's awesome. Dude, that's not just assless chaps. That's backless chaps. I'm a ginormous fan of this guy. I'm a ginormous fan of ETK, East Texas Kid. Okay, but like, what happens when he goes south of the border, if you know what I mean? He's always ready. Those aren't even fists, those are like forearm shots. Fine, you know what? We're just gonna work submissions the entire match. You have a match against him, you know who he is. Because the ass's pitch has coach written all over it. Listen, man, the coach is high on the East Texas Kid. And for once, I can't blame him. Look at this guy, he's a star in the making. Oh shit! No way! Stop going towards the ropes, you're gonna get yourself freaking rope braked. Oh, dude, Poison Rana? Oh wait, no, that's a rollover. That's victory roll.
2, 3.
No way! Fuck you, Jonathan Coachman. That was the fastest match we've had so far, honestly. Wow. We blew right through the East Texas Kid. Send my regards to the polycule. So ETK doesn't last long. Kinda crazy. Dude, I was under the impression that he would last a little longer, you know? Never jumped WWE. ETK's beard was too awesome. He had amazing head game, dude. I wasn't ready for it, you know? Alright. Let's see if we have anything we can build on. Well, listen, if the coach is fine with sitting on a hot commodity, that's okay. But, like, can we at least, like, put a title on me? You know? Like, I've been sitting here in developmental with my thumb up my ass for, like, 2 months at this point, and I don't have a title shot. You know? I even beat Matt freaking Hardy. No title shot. I see. Say goodbye to WWE Developmental. Alright, well, there is no title in OVW for me to win, I guess. I get it, they're too scared. As you know, Mr. Heyman, Egg has had a great run here in WWE Developmental. Ever since I take him under my wing, of course. Thanks to the coach, he's a rising star. It's true. Coach has told me a lot about you. Matt strongly dislikes mustard, so I've heard. He says that your ring skills are pretty well developed considering your relative inexperience. He also says that you're a bit impatient when it comes to following orders, but that's not too surprising. I see that a lot in our up-and-comers. But here's a word of advice, and I'd be surprised if you haven't heard the same thing from Mr. McMahon yet. To make it in this business, you're going to be asked to work hard, to commit yourself, and to follow orders, at least until you've paid your dues. Sometimes you may be asked to do things you might not want to, but that's part of the business. I'm pretty sure you can accept that if you made it this far. Speaking of which, I got a very special opportunity for you tonight. I came to Developmental tonight to scout one of our premier SmackDown superstars, Booker T. He's recovering from an arm injury. He needs a tune-up match. Since Coach thinks you're ready for the next step, I'm ready to give you the opportunity on behalf of the WWE. If you can beat Booker T one-on-one tonight, I'll see you after the show to discuss your promotion to the WWE. Good luck. And make sure to think about ECW. He does sound like John Laryngitis. At least. Alright, cool. You know what? Maybe since this is my final match in Developmental, maybe they won't fry me to a crisp tonight. Maybe they won't fry me to a crisp tonight. That would be cool. Oh, fuck. No! Ah! No! Fire! No fire here, no fire there. Ah! You know what? I think the Edge entrance works great for this because he like looks to his left and his right to look for fire. And when there's no fire, he feels safe.
Can you dig it?
Sucker! There he is. Can you dig at my ass? Holy shit, he looks like really good in this game. He like looks better in this than he did in goddamn SVR. And in Here Comes the Pain as well. Here Comes the Pain, he was like tweaked out the entire time. Dude, that looks great, honestly. Wow. Okay. I love that. Booker looks like he can still go and he's 60. He's definitely kept himself in good shape, yeah. Hold on, let me see here. Alright, let's put on the music. I think it's time for Major Circuit chat, or World Circuit. Wait, I thought you said Booker was recovering from an arm injury. Ow! The fucking whip crack sound effect is crazy. We coming for you, sucker! Hulk Hogan, we want the gold, sucker! Are you kidding me, Booker? Booger, no. You know what, Booger? Ow. Nah, son. No! No. I'm no tomato can. Booker kind of got a bit of a dumpy there, does he? Hold on, hold on. I need to take a look. He does. Oh, no! Ow! Holy shit! Dude, I'm going blow for blow with him.
One.
It can end just like that, Booger. Ow!
One.
Trading pin attempts. This is a sick match so far, honestly. This is honestly a sick match so far. Dude, he's so fucking large. Dude, Dude, you want to talk about dumpies? How about the dumpy that's on egg here? It's so large, it's holding his, like, goddamn crown between his cheeks. Ow! You know what, Booker? I don't enjoy how you're perceiving me as lesser than. I can tell that you do because of all of the quick pins. Is Driven a good personality for a locker room leader? The game should tell you, right? Ow! Damn it. It's a back and forth contest here, honestly. I am surprised. Nah. No! Michinoku driver, bitch! Ah! On the outside! Another one! On the outside! Third one! No! He had it scouted that time! It's not letting me look at that screen. I'm pretty sure Driven is a good personality trait for a locker room leader. I'm gonna make you waste that shit, you bitch. Yeah! No! No, not the Skizzer's kick. This is a really back and forth contest. Wow. That was kind of sick there, yeah, that was great. Oh shit. The goddamn fucking whip crack sound effects will never not be fun. No! Dude, Dude, I cannot let him get a finisher off. If I do, that's it! No! That's right, keep fucking taunting, keep fucking taunting.
1, 2.
Oh! I'm not a jobber. No! Holy shit, indeed. Michinoku driver! Michinoku driver! Again! Alright. 4 Michinoku drivers, that's gotta be it!
3.
Wow! Wow! What a match! Holy shit! Dude, he's ready. He's ready for Sunday Night Heat! He's ready for goddamn Sunday Night Heat! Wow! That was more of an authentic back and forth than I've ever had in any wrestling game. That was good as fuck. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Well, I must say, 5-star match at a house show. That was at least 3 stars, I feel like. Dude, that was like a more like organic back and forth than I've ever had in any other wrestling game, frankly. In most other games I played, it's either been like I had to create tension myself, or it was just really hard or easy, you know? Or it was just really fucking hard. That was beautiful, honestly. Well, I must say, congratulations are in order. Even with the stakes as high as they were, I'm still a little surprised that you were able to upset Booker T the way you did. Maybe you should go and apologize to him. He's still pretty sad. I don't know what you did, but you made him pretty upset. But then, as a builder of professional wrestling empires, against all odds, mind you, available on TNA, I'm no stranger to upsets myself. Of course. So, about that promotion? Right. As I was saying, on behalf of Vince McMahon and the WWE, I am happy to offer you a run on Sunday Night Heat, beginning next week. If you continue to impress, you'll be offered a WWE contract, and either I or another WWE official will assign you to Raw or SmackDown at that time. So again, congratulations. Say goodbye to the WWE developmental, and hello to the WWE. Dude, he's so puckered up. He's so puckered up, he can't believe it. That was awesome. Wow. That was like justified holy shit chants, too. As Tony Khan would say, justified holy shit chants on this random house show. Wait. The basic value of attribute points, which can be used with Create a Superstar, became 400. That's awesome. Wait, do we get like an upgraded locker room? It feels brighter in here. We're on Heat. It's dark match time, brother. I think we need... So after working the WWE developmental, I think that we should be a bit more kind of like attuned to submission wrestling as well as just like, you know, like our aerial stuff. Because frankly, we've been doing a lot of submission stuff. And if that is our lot in life, if that is the moveset we have, then we should lean into it, you know? You can hear, like, fucking, the goddamn, what is it? The fluorescent lighting. You can hear the fluorescent lighting sound above us. Hold on. Please? It's like faint, but you can hear it. And yeah, we did unlock Andre the Giant. And imagine once we hit certain milestones, we'll be unlocking more characters, too. Dude. Teddy, are you here? Teddy, could someone wrangle up Teddy so I can scream at him about how good this game is? Because I'm having so much fun with this. Ah! I love this so much, honestly. Oh, I could just, like, goddamn, Oh, wait. That right there's the Mandible Claw, right? I'm pretty sure this right here is, Mankind, right? Yeah. That's Mick Foley. What's this? Oh, brother. Oh, Swanton! Here, how about moves? F5? Oh, shit! The SSD. The Emerald Flosion. Nice. Tiger Driver. Shining Wizard. This right here's a great fucking game. I love this. Dude, where is the spin? Zach, why didn't you tell me about this? Why didn't you tell me about how good this game is, brother? Dragon Rana. Whisper in the Wind. Wait, I need to unlock the Hurricane Rana? A 450 splash. I like this. This is a fantastic game. Chad, why didn't you tell me about this? Why'd I have to find this out myself? Weapons? Not yet. Although maybe now that we're out of, developmental, I think that it might be time. A 10-gallon hat. It might be time for some goddamn new gear, but we can think of that next time, I think. We can think of that next time, because we have officially approached the 4-hour mark, and that means, chat, it's time for the end. I didn't do a post-show again, but I was having so much fun, I didn't want to do a post-show. God! Dude, this game's good. This game is awesome. Thank you, everyone, for fucking experiencing this with me. We will definitely be making this a regular thing. But for now, we gotta raid into somebody. But who? I think we gotta raid into... Have a good night. You have a good night too, Piecemeal. I really enjoyed your company this evening. Cocksacco, Mr. Sacco. I didn't even mean to, pause on that. It just kind of happened that way. It really did just kind of happen that way. But no, I'm gonna go ahead and raid into... By the way, have you seen the new SF6 video? I did see that Kenny Omega did stuff for it, which is really cool. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna raid into Dazzle RGB here, who is doing a wrestling sim right now. Nia Women of Wrestling, it's called. I'm gonna go ahead and start the raid right now. Boy Club Love, right there. Actually, hold on just a second. We're not gonna do it yet. We're not gonna do it just yet. First, I need to put in the actual, stream message. I need to make this, a hotkey. I will do that after this. Yeah, Boy Club Love, as always. Thank you all very much. If you've not done so already, I would really appreciate you following the channel for more shit like this. And you will love the Alex gameplay video. I know he does a One-Winged Angel as well. I've seen it. You can see this, too. My Discord server, where we talk about wrestling, games, we hold weekly watch-alongs. Coming up this Sunday, we're going to be doing Smiling Friends. We're going to be watching the first season of that. Zach has not seen seasons 2 or 3, but, I would like to do season 1 as a bit of a formality. It's going to be fun. I really like Smiling Friends. If you enjoy it too, or you haven't seen it, come on by. We're going to go and have a fucking good time with it. My socials are right here as well. Follow me on everything. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Blue Sky. I have 2 YouTube channels, one for VODs and one for goddamn clips and highlights and like more like heavily edited stuff. And yeah, hold on just a second. Let me go ahead and get Dazzle here again. Let's say I just had him here. All right, there you go. Yeah, thank you all very much for hanging out with me this evening. I love you all very much. And I will talk to you again on Saturday for when we do either more of this or Yakuza. Honestly, this is so goddamn addicting. I just want to play more of this. Have a good night, everyone.
If you want to call somebody out for looking like, damn, that was a beautiful shooting star impression of the Tigers. If you want to call somebody out for looking like Crash Bandicoot every single time, if you want to be technical about it, Cappuccino Jones. And if you want to go further down with that, I got news for you, buddy. A legendary wrestler named the Human Tornado is a wrestling pimp.
Lomboy Club, let's go.
People compare me to him way too much, actually.
I mean, yeah, a little bit.
So, you're just like Human Tornado. It's like, where? How?
Is this guy like taller than you?
He is a lot taller than me.
That's what I thought, because I'm looking at it like, wait, he looks taller on TV.
First of all, I can't split for my life.
Nah, that guy could split.
Yeah. And if you want to be more technical about my movement, think the way that heel Sami Zayn was coming down the ring with his weird ass generic theme song, but also think Io Shirai as she was like coming down looking drunk. That's how my movement and personality is.
Yeah, I can see that now.
Slow motion kitty drop.
I don't know why they slowed that down. It was fine before.
And in a very awkward double stomp onto the gut. I hate it.